So if you're a fan of the NBA, and given that you're watching this video, I have to assume you are, because if you're not, then this is kind of weird, then you probably enjoy scoring. Whether it be LeBron James barreling his way down to the basket, DeMar DeRozan with his patented mid-range fall-away jumpers, or Isaiah Thomas and his transition threes, and him somehow getting shots up over guys that are like a foot taller than him. But we're not going to talk about those guys too much today. We're actually going to address guys who average less than 10 points a game, but are still super impactful for their teams. The first one is going to surprise anyone who watches my channel, Andre Iguodala, who I won't shut up about. You know what the funny thing about Iguodala is? Probably one of my favorite recent NBA storylines is how he said he was going to punch Steve Kerr in the face because he's making him come off the bench. But then they ended up winning games, so it worked out for him anyway. I have to assume he probably felt kind of silly watching Harrison Barnes chuck up a bunch of bricks in the NBA Finals against the Cavs one season, and Iguodala's just chilling on the bench going, "Really? This guy's playing over me right now?" I should probably fact check and see if he played more minutes than Barnes in those finals, but I'm not going to. Now that Kevin Durant's playing in front of him, I'm sure he's not as upset. If he still was upset, I don't know. He's still a really good defensive player, and he does everything you'd want of a guy who's lower usage. He still gets about 3 assists a game, 4 rebounds, shoots well from the field, good in transition, and I'm sure when he loses Sixth Man of the Year once again to some guy who scores more points than him, I'm going to be heartbroken, and I'm going to announce it on Twitter. And I'm sure Iguodala sees it, because of course he follows my Twitter and watches my videos. But yeah, Iguodala, I am a little fearful of his age. Hopefully his impact can still be felt as a two-way player coming off the bench for Golden State. Who the hell knows, but he's still really good. Our next one, Danny Green, who I think shoots basically the same amount of threes as he shoots regular shots. So he doesn't shoot that well from the field. Like, he'll shoot like 41% from the field, which isn't good, but then he shoots 41% from 3, which is very good, and it's because, like, the dude will attempt 6 shots in a game, and all 6 of them will be 3-pointers. I feel like his defense is pretty underrated at this point. I would say he is a multi-position defender who is pretty smart, and he's quietly been a San Antonio Spurs mainstay for a while now. Are we going to be thinking of Danny Green when we think of all the other Spurs that have been around forever? The Bruce Bowen, Boris Diaw. Did Diaw even play for the Spurs for that long? I can't remember. Who else? Avery Johnson being another one. Those Spurs role players who are just immortalized in San Antonio forever. I hope Danny Green doesn't end up on another team, because him with Greg Popovich, it's just a perfect pairing. The way Pop uses him coming off screens and all that. It's really fun to watch. Danny Green, he's a good dude. I assume he's a good dude. I've never met the guy. I've also never met Tristan Thompson, and that's apparently worth saying for some reason. Thompson, is he the best defensive player on the Cavs at this point? Probably, as Shumpert's impact has just kind of dipped down, and then LeBron. I mean, when LeBron decides to play defense, he's really good, but he doesn't do it every day. Tristan Thompson's playing defense pretty regularly for them. And he, as well as the guy that's coming up in this one, have to be 2 of the most annoying players to play against, because Thompson, I mean, you're just constantly watching for him on the offensive boards. I wanted to go super nerd mode and see how the Warriors managed to contain Thompson in the NBA Finals, but I never decided to do it. Maybe it's because Zaza is just a big dude who's just big for pretty much nothing else in the NBA today, so he would manage to just form a brick wall around Tristan Thompson. Al Horford definitely has nightmares of Thompson, and he's a big reason why I think the Celtics can't beat the Cavs, even with a Kyrie Irving trade or not, is because Thompson's going to grab every single rebound over Al Horford if these two teams meet in the playoffs. But, yeah, Thompson, his impact is definitely felt. The other guy who's probably really annoying to play against is Patrick Beverley, who we're going to have in a Clippers jersey for this one, because I just feel like it, I guess. One of my favorite videos on YouTube is the video of Beverley stealing the ball from Drew Holiday like 3 times in a row or something. It's like something that I would see at a high school, and usually I'd be the one dribbling the ball because I can't dribble for crap. But Beverley, I mean, his defense is just, you know, it's a hell of an impact thing. I would say he's one of the better defensive point guards in the NBA. And he's one of those dudes where when you initially look at him, you wouldn't consider him to be that great defensively. But the dude is just all effort, and I would say he's pretty strong for his size as well. I'm backing that up with no data whatsoever. It's just kind of a thing I've observed with him defending. I'm looking forward to see him on the Clippers. I wonder if his offensive responsibility will just be a little bit higher. Maybe he'll be dribbling the ball a little bit more often. He definitely has his role as a defensive player and a three-point shooter, which is what he played off of James Harden for a while. But it is going to be interesting to see if he has any more offensive capabilities in him, if he can be more of a playmaker, things like that. Finally, Nerlens Noel, who I've been talking about a lot lately because, I don't know, man, he and the Mavericks, they just haven't agreed on a deal just yet. I think he just recently fired his agent because he expects to get like a max contract. I find it funny the amount of NBA players who saw the free agent landscape of a couple years ago where the cap jumped up, like almost every single NBA team had cap space, and they compared it to this season where, I mean, a lot of teams are capped out at this point, and they all thought they were going to get a crap ton of money. It didn't happen for Nerlens. That doesn't mean he still can't be super valuable. I think he's awesome defensively as an athlete, as a roller to the rim. And I just don't think he's ever gotten the perfect opportunity to really show off his skills because besides just having no good perimeter players around him in Philadelphia for a while, he was either playing next to Jahlil Okafor or behind Joel Embiid. So hopefully he just ends up on the Mavericks and he's really good.